but it's just trying to understand how to fully use BrandWell to its full capacity. Because I have 2 writers, 2 developers, and a graphic designer.
Okay.
And so I know I just had one of the writers go in it, and she's starting to learn like BrandWell. And I told my wife, because she was like, well, you're a great writer. And I'm just like, look, sweetheart, I love you dearly. It took me a couple hours to do 1 blog. She spit out 10 in like 4 hours. I'm like, I just can't, I can't compete with that, nor do I want to.
No.
But I want to utilize that a lot better. And just have like, because essentially what I'm doing is for the number of clients, and not a large agency, I have about 6 or 7 clients, but they pay me really well, which is awesome. But I'm wanting to write on average about 16 blogs for them a piece per month. And originally my writer was like, that's just a lot. And I'm like, I totally get it. I see what you mean, but you have to use this software. Yes. She started using it. She goes, oh my word. And she wrote one that was like a 75 optimization score. I was like, I'd love for it to be at least 80 or a little bit more. Like 30 minutes later, she goes, I got it to 91. I'm like, what?
That's beautiful. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing when you get to like blow writers' minds and it's like, well, hold on. It sounds like, because if you do the math on that 16 blogs, which I agree with, that'll 4x the leads. Like that's a minimum benchmark to hit because it is quantity of content. If you do that 16 times 6, it's 96 blogs. So I could see a writer going, hold up. But then if you have
exactly where she was at.
This is a secret weapon. But writers don't realize that till you show it to them. So that's really cool. You got to like put it in her hands, and then she was like, okay, what?
Yeah. And what's interesting? She got to 91 without even checking all the check marks on the checklist.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know how she did it, but she did it. And so now I'm going to make a video like, hey, these are the kind of the things that we watch for and look for. And I told her, I was like, and I'm meeting with the president today. So she's like, no way. I was like, I know, right? So
I like how you just said awesome. The president.
Oh yeah, not the president of the US, but
I just met with our UX, our head of UX yesterday. We have a whole new navigation coming to this dashboard pretty soon. It's going to be a lot more user friendly because most people don't know about something that's pretty awesome called the AI agents. And
I use those all the time.
Oh, you do? Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Anytime, so like I'll build out a calendar. I run everything through the AI detector, through the agents before I do anything. So I actually sent, here's a pretty cool thing. So I did a content calendar for a new client, which I'm really not into like organic posting, but people want it. So I'm like, all right, I'll just add that into the services because my services are a little bit higher, but I'll add it in. I ran everything through the AI. So I used ChatGPT to like put a calendar together, but I was like, I don't trust ChatGPT. I only trust BrandWell. And so I ran it all through the agents, and she was like, wow, you did that really fast. These sound very human. Can you tailor it? So I just told the agents, hey, tailor it to this. And she was like, this is great. I was like,
that's amazing.
So I use the agents all the time.
Oh, that's so cool.
I probably push it too much where it's like, sorry, the agent can't produce what you want. I'm like, dang it, but why?
That's amazing because you're one of the very few I've talked to that really knows like this is here. And that's kind of on us. Like we need to do a better job in the UX, showing people that these exist. But yeah, like this is how I use it. I just give it a sentence and then it spits out this particular one, the LinkedIn story post. It's trained in how I write LinkedIn posts, which is based on a lot of research.
Yeah.
So we've got the hooks in here. We've got the formatting. We've got analysis, like see how it's talking about, okay, there's a takeaway here. And then we're analyzing that takeaway. Like that's a very specific formula I've studied. So this one in particular, you got to use that if you're not. It's pretty.
No, I'm not using that yet, but because I have a client so he's the VP of the business and he like critiques everything before it's posted,
Okay.
And he's like, these are great. He goes, are these AI? I'm like, we use AI as a tool. And he goes, man, this is awesome. And I'm like, well, thank you.
is there anything I can do to help production? And I know your writer was like, oh, I took the score higher in just a few minutes. So it sounds like she's on top of the whole process there.
So she's definitely on it there and helping her kind of include CTAs and use the AI agents for that. And so I'm making like SOPs. I'm starting to do SOPs. And I'm using a software called Scribe. Really cool. I just barely found out about it like 2 days ago. Essentially, when you activate it, it like tracks your screen on where you're clicking on, and it puts it into a Google Sheet and makes an SOP. So I'm going to test drive that because I'm like, wow, if I can do this and show like, hey, this is how you add a tweet. This is how you use the AI agent, and you click here and click here, rather than me just be like, hey, type, because then it could be like a book. If it can be pictures involved, because it screenshots it too. Like it's called Scribe. So
okay,
maybe that could help you. But
wow, that's amazing.
My biggest thing would be how to understand how to do keyword research. And I know like both my writers, like they're phenomenal at using SEMrush and do that, but I'm like, no. You don't need to use SEMrush. You use BrandWell and put it to the content planner. But that would be like, how do you, when you go to a website and look at it and start building out those content strategies, what are you looking for and determines on what to write about and what's important, what's not? I know I watched a video for you before where, like for a brand new website, you look at like not only the search volume, but the ranking difficulty, and try to go below 40 and below. See, I'm telling you, I watch all your videos. So,
yeah, you do. Wow.
And really, and looking at that volume. And so, but I think that's where I'm kind of at right now, is how can I help my writers understand, hey, this is how to do keyword research, and this is what to look for, and these are the gaps and things of that nature.
Yes. Well, that's definitely, that's a whole understanding of SEO, topical authority. I think like a few initial steps could be, once you get that website, now that we do have the audit, running it through that process, that would be like almost step one for me. Like if I onboarded a client, I would add that website here and then see what it's telling me with what to rewrite. But I would also, I think like, the keyword research itself, like you could definitely use BrandWell. I do on a, probably weekly basis. I'm over here, clicking in here, looking up keywords, looking for that difficulty score. But I would say you still need, like if I type in one of the ones we want to rank for, you still need a way to analyze for topical authority overall for that website. You know, this is like, what do I rank for? What's my domain authority? What's the technical analysis of that? What's like a super deep dive? And that's where Ahrefs and SEMrush still, I would say, come in handy for that big picture. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. But anytime you're creating content, this is what I tell our writers, and this is what I do too. Anytime you're creating content and you have like the initial, you've got that bird's eye view from a tool like SEMrush, from a tool like Ahrefs, and you're like, okay, these are my 5 clusters we want to dominate on Google for. Like right now we're working on AI for content creation in BrandWell. Well, that's going to take me here once I know that, okay, that's my main cluster. And then from here, I'm going to just start clicking either create content or create a topic cluster. And like the difference between both is when you create content, that's an article. Topic cluster is going to trigger a real-time SERP crawl where it's going to go and find your secondary keywords to put into that content piece. And that will build more authority. So for example, if I was going after a keyword, AI-powered content creation, like that's a little more niche. This one is too generative AI. I might not want to be like necessarily known for that, but I do want to rank for that. So that's a content article. But if I have something like AI content creation tools, well, yeah, that's like a potential H1 on my homepage. So that's going to be a cluster. And then that will generate a potential amount. If I click that, it will give me a report of like potentially 15 articles I could create. So once you know, like, okay, these are the areas I want to build authority in, like once you know what that is, and that is just like your generalized groups of keywords, then that's when I start using BrandWell. Like from that point on, I don't use really any other tool, because even topic clustering, all that can be done here. So it's recommending 2 clusters that we do. It's pulling in all the secondary keywords, and then straight from here, we can click create content for both of these keywords. And
Oh, I
then that
love that.
build
Okay.
that topical authority. Yeah.
Okay, I love that, and that concept that you have. Like, hey, this is a generic term that I want to rank for. Article.
Yes.
More in depth, like this is our moneymaker, topical authority, topic cluster.
Yes.
Okay, I love that, because that's what I need to be able to, like, again, I don't want to be doing the writing, but I want to be able to help people get better at what they do, so that they feel like, hey, they're growing, they're excelling, and I love that. Love that.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's like having that knowledge of like, okay, this is how you build domain authority. That's so important, I think, for an agency owner to have, like just some distinction and knowledge there. So that's cool. Like that's a priority for you too, versus just, oh yeah, my team's going to run content.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're going to write a blog, and it may or may not be a relative to your business, but
Yes.
we're writing blogs.
Ooh. There's marketing, and then there's marketing.
No, 100%. Yes.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. It just made me think of like, whenever we think of serving agency owners, we are all about the agency owners that actually want to do it from a place of knowledge and expertise versus just like selling you marketing. So I love that that's your focus too. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I care about money, because I can't get food without that.
Right.
But I really, truly care about creating results for my clients, and getting those results. And because if I'm not, then I'm not valuable anymore.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't hire me if I wasn't getting results. So
exactly, that's the truth.
No, this is beautiful. I think that biggest thing was understanding, like, okay, when to use BrandWell in terms of like the keyword research, and really diving into that. That is really, that's not that I didn't love this conversation, but that nugget right there is really what's going to help me understand, like, okay, this is what we need to do in order to be able to create a bazillion blogs per month for everyone and have it housed in BrandWell. So
yes,
Julia, you're freaking awesome.